Hey everybody, are you ready to slather on the blather? From Studio 40, it's the Debater! Now, here's the man who never blithers when he dithers, Steve Patterson.
Hey, hello everyone, thank you. Thank you so much. Hello and welcome to the Debaters, the show where comedians compete and the audience chooses the champ. I went to a website where you can register to have a star named after you. So I'm proud to announce that Betty White will now be known as Steve Patterson's Hot Nana. All right, are you ready to meet our first pair of debaters? This up-and-comer was born to perform 36 hours of community service. Here's Nathan McIntosh. Nathan? Hello, sir. And this amazing comedy veteran has showbiz in his blood. That's a positive. Here's Derek Edwards. Yeah, there he is. All right. Your topic, debaters, is TV channels. Are there too many? The first TV show was broadcast at the 1939 World's Fair. It was a documentary entitled Germany, the most peaceful vacation you'll ever have. Narrated by a middle-aged Barbara Walters. So, whereas there are countless channels but often nothing on, be it resolved that TV was better with fewer channels. Derek Edwards, you are arguing for this, please. You have 2 minutes, beginning right now.
Basically, at the top of the TV ladder, the talent, your actors and your writers, performers. There's, like, ever since TV started, really that talent pool hasn't enlarged at all. And, of course, there's more air to fill, so that's why back in the day, in the golden age, there's exact same many good shows on in a given week than there is today. The only difference is the amount of televised sewage you have to wade through to find them. How does Sitting Down to Ice Road Truckers, Dog the Bounty Hunter, hey, ice worked once, how about ice pilots? As a viewer, are you so chronically unemployable that you can sit there, go, wow, what must it be like to have one of them jobs? To research this, I flipped through one of the 3 or 4 poker channels that have crapped up over the last year or so. Okay, silence. The camera pans across 6, 7 pairs of sunglasses. The guy on the end yawns. He's in the game. How do you think I feel? That's good for them.
Derek Edwards, ladies and gentlemen. And now, to argue that he hasn't the remotest idea how people even survived on fewer channels, here's Nathan McIntosh.
Listen, more is better, period, okay? More cake, more sex, more channels, all right? It is just that simple. Like, do you want a limit on your cake? Absolutely not. How about only 13 sex partners? No. And people cry all the time like, oh, how am I gonna get through all of these channels? Push buttons. Like, simply from the comfort of your couch, push a button. There are so many channels now that there is actually a fireplace channel. That is just a log on fire all day. And I think that's great, okay? Because I grew up in an apartment. We didn't have a fireplace, but we had a TV. Hey, turn it to that channel where we feel like successful people. Like, we've advanced, guys, okay? And more channels comes with that, all right? If we didn't have advancement, we'd still only have 13 channels and polio, okay?
Nathan McIntosh. This wily veteran is proud to have earned his bachelor's apartment. Please welcome Pete Johansson. Hey, Pete.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Looking sexy, as always. And this comedian believes in first impressions, especially if those impressions are of Sean Connery. Please welcome Sean Cullen. Oh, hello, sir. Hello. Welcome back. Well, your topic, debaters, is a good one. Tea versus coffee. Which is the superior beverage? I guess since a lot of coffee comes from Colombia and caffeine is a drug, That makes Juan Valdez the original drug lord and his donkey the first ever drug mule. So, whereas tea is an uncomplicated, relaxing beverage, be it resolved that tea is superior to coffee. Sean, you are arguing for this, please. You have 2 minutes, beginning right now.
Coffee and tea. Two siblings in the family that is the hot beverage. But they couldn't be more different. Tea, the older brother, thoughtful and refined. Coffee, on the other hand, is a brutish lout, completely unfamiliar with bathing, a creepy prepubescent mustache on his upper lip. Coffee's idea of high comedy is to hold you down on the ground and fart in your mouth. Coffee is the bludgeoned, tea is the delicate instrument. Reaching for a cup of coffee in the morning is like picking up a hammer and smashing yourself in the face until you are awake. Reaching for a cup of tea is like tickling yourself gently with the velvety tongue of a hummingbird. Coffee is the drink of all-nighters, stakeouts, and miserable endless days at work. When you're exhausted and bleary, coffee is like hiring a gorilla to punch you in the back of the head every hour. Tea is the drink of relaxation, of contemplation. Tea is prepared slowly and with ceremony. Water must boil. Tea must steep. Tea is therapeutic and healing. Tea is like having the coffee gorilla use its powerful hands to massage your aching feet. So, it's up to you, people. Would you rather have a gorilla massage your feet or your brother fart in your mouth?
Sean Cullen. Yes. Now, to tell us on the Double-Double why coffee perks him up, here's Pete Johansson.
Coffee is a life being lived to its fullest, an energy spark that breeds sustenance into a crazy plan to follow up snowboarding with a trip to a strip bar. Coffee is a freight train fueling the modern life. A smell that says we're gonna get it done today. We're gonna get paid. Tea says I'm broke, save the bag for another cup. Coffee is steeped in the powerful. Napoleon drank coffee. General Patton drank coffee. Hitler drank tea. Hitler drank tea. My God, if that doesn't win me this debate, then God help your souls. Coffee is a drug, a fun, legal drug sold by a fashionable, cool dealer. People use tea as medicine, a weak crutch of a drink, a feebly pawing at your ailments that coffee would help you get off your ass and see a real doctor about instead of that quack homeopath that gave you tea in the first place.
All right.
The coffee culture fueled an intellectual revolution. From the coffee houses in Vienna all the way to Paris, we heard the minds stimulated from coffee, from Voltaire to Freud, redraw the landscape of humanity. Coffee inspired the jazz age, the beat generation, the internet revolution. Tea? Tea inspired the cozy. I resolve today that coffee is a fantasticropolis, crackolific, bombastic beverage that shames tea into history's past where it belongs with ether and phrenology.
Pete Johansson. Well played, sir. Yeah, we've got ourselves a debate. It is time now for the bare knuckle round. This is your chance, debaters, to vente your anger. We're talking tea and coffee, so be bold. Give it your best shot, and don't take oolong. Oh! That one made me tingle.
That's a good one.
Go ahead and roast them.
So, coffee, where does it even come from? Do we even know?
Coffee comes from North Africa. It comes from simple goat herders that saw that it kept their goats awake when they ate the little cherry buds of the coffee.
Huh? Is that
so what
true?
you like is people torturing animals.
Oh,
is that what you're into?
I'm
like,
sorry.
hey, let's get these goats hopped up on caffeine. Well, they run around
I'm
nibbling things.
From a guy that works gorillas the way you did in your opening statement.
Gorillas are our hairy brothers, all right?
You talk about the tradition and refinement of tea, though, but why is tradition so good? I mean, in all honesty, tradition? Like, and plus, okay, well, let's jump to
It's a
another
tradition
topic.
that nobody likes. Pretty sweeping statement. It's the most drunk beverage in the world.
And how do you get coffee as a fart in your mouth from your brother?
Have you ever...
What kind of family are you from?
Very limber family.
And that's the Bare Knuckle Round, everyone. Yes. It is time now for the firing line. In my hand, I have a list of questions on tea versus coffee, brought to you by the Starbucks mascot. Because nothing says hot and full-bodied like a topless mermaid. Here are your questions. In 593 AD, tea traveled to Japan from China. What traveled with it? Pete?
Knockoff tea.
The actual answer is Buddhism. What occurs within the first minute of brewing a cup of coffee?
The water rinses off the tears of the itinerant pickers.
No. Pete?
A Colombian gets his wings.
I will give you 3 points for the voice of an angel. The actual answer is 95% of the caffeine is released from the bean.
And the other 5 is sent to prison.
I don't want to ask this, but I have to. Who invented the tea bag? Pete?
Oscar Wilde on a sleeping Bosie.
There it is. Incorrect, I'm sorry.
Jesus Christ.
No, it wasn't Jesus Christ who created the tea bag.
He invented the table. Because otherwise they wouldn't have had to sit anything there. They wouldn't have been able to sit at the dinner.
Jesus invented the table.
Yeah, for sure.
The actual answer, who invented the tea bag? New York tea merchant Thomas Sullivan in 1903. And there you have it, the firing line, everybody. Stay where you are. We'll be right back with more of the Debaters. Hey, welcome back to the Debaters. We're talking tea versus coffee. It's almost time for our studio audience to pick their winner. But first, here to espresso his love of the bean, here's 1 more minute from Pete Johansson.
I would gladly pay $100 for a cup of coffee that has been flavored by the intestines of a cat, than sip a weak cup of tea. Because as far as I can tell, tea is on the wrong side of everything. From teetotaling to the Tea Party, I disagree. And yes, coffee is a drug, but not all drugs are bad. Look at penicillin, codeine, or marijuana. They're awesome. Tea can be anything soaked in warm water. Coffee has standards, as do those of us who choose to drink it. And our standards clearly state, we will not drink the same drink as Hitler.
Pete Johansson, everybody. Well said. Now, once again, to tell us why his argument for tea is in the bag, here's another minute of Sean Cullen.
Have you ever had anyone talk in your face with tea breath? No, because there is no such thing. Have you ever been coffee bagged? No, neither have I. Have you ever been invited to a coffee party by a 4-year-old girl? No. Did anyone ever begin the fight for democracy by dumping coffee in the harbor? No. Did Mr. Coffee ever say, "I pity the fool"? No. Did anyone ever subjugate an entire empire by swapping coffee for opium? No. Wake up, people. And when you wake up, drink tea.
Sean Cullen, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Wow. Well, strong arguments on both sides. It is up to the audience now to pick a winner. By applause, how many thought that Sean's tea tirade triumphed? Sean Cullen. It's up there. Wow. Yeah, tea-loving freaks. And who thought that Pete's pro Java Jabs were better latte than never? Pete Johansson. Well, it is too close to call. It is a tie. Coffee and tea.
What is this?
Between Sean Cullen and Pete Johansson, everybody. It's too close to call. That's all for this week. I'm Steve Patterson saying, remember that for just the price of a cup of coffee, you could have made several cups at home. I'll argue with you again soon. Good night.